Check, check, check. 1, 2.
Eating that ring pop like that.
Roll up in the club and I can't.
Look at my Big Mac.
Big Mac! Big Mac!
He know he here. Big Mac. Why they slick his hair down like that? I ain't never seen Big Mac
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Francis Howell North, home of the Knights. Francis Howell North students, staff, and administration are pleased to have you as our guests for tonight's varsity football game between the visiting Huskies from Ritenour High School and your Francis Howell North Knights. This is the home opener. Firstly, you heard on the field the 2019 Night Pride Marching Band. This athletic event is sanctioned by the Missouri State High School Activities Association, and as members of that organization, both schools agreed to abide by the regulations governing athletic competition for high schools in the state of Missouri, as well as to maintain the standards of sportsmanship required at these athletic contests. Tonight's contest will be officiated under the rules set forth by the National High School Federation, the governing body for high school interscholastic athletics. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome to the playing field the Huskies from Ritenour High School. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise as we honor our nation with the playing of the national anthem as performed by Night Sound.
I think so, at least.
Welcome to tonight's match, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Emily Hood, joined here by my co-announcer Brandon Light, and we are bringing you some Friday Night Lights here from Francis Howell North High School. The Knights are taking on the Ritenour Huskies here in their first match of the home season.
Thanks for that nice intro, Emily. We lost to Ritenour last year, 38-6, and before that, they won in 2015, but Francis Howell North actually hasn't won since 2014, so tonight's an exciting game.
That's right, Brandon, and we're going to be looking forward to some really great football action here tonight. The Knights looking to capture their first win of the season. They lost on Monday 14-3 to Northwest in their season opener. That game rescheduled because of some rain and thunderstorms here in St. Charles on Friday night, and the Knights there in that very close loss looking to come back early.
Some notable players tonight are Az Anderson, junior number 8, leads team in rushing yards, 88 total yards, and tackles 6. Dontrell Woods, wide receiver, leads team in receiving 61 yards. Patrick Coaster, senior, Marshall Hines, kicker.
The Knights will be looking to head back and have a little bit of a different start for this season. They had a bit of a rebuilding year last year. They were 0-10 on the season last year and are hoping to improve this year.
And a little bit about Ritenour. They lost to Ladue 13-0 last Friday, and last year's stats are Ori Brooks, he's gone. Demetrius Jackson, he's gone. Quarterback Brian Golden, Jr., Sincere Jamison, senior number 8, lead team and receiving 653 yards.
Have won the toss and have elected to defer. Knights will receive the opening kickoff.
And with that call, the Knights seniors heading out to take the coin toss. The Knights will receive this kickoff here, and they will start with the ball in the first play of the first quarter. Some notable players, Brandon, of tonight's game, like you mentioned, A.Z. Anderson, a junior for FHN, a dominant running back here for the Knights. He had a lot of great yard pickups on Monday night's game. He had 88 yards total on the night, led the team there, and for the offense of the Ritenour Huskies, it's really going to come down to Sincere Jamison. He is a senior this year. He led the team in receiving yards with 653 and will really be a strong part of the offense for the Huskies. So if the Knights want to see some success tonight, they will be key in shutting down Jamison. So, Brandon, what do you think are some keys to tonight's game to help the Knights pull out their first victory of the season?
I think like a lot of advantages that they have since we're in the home team. They got like a bigger crowd, the bigger bleachers, so, and I mean Ritenour's not bad per se, but like they don't have the biggest little bleacher thing. We don't give them the biggest, but they have enough room and not a lot of people, but I think a lot of people are rooting for the Knights tonight.
Back to receive for the Knights, number 8.
And a lot of new incoming freshmen like myself, like that are coming to see the first game or for varsity or their first game in general.
The first game of the season, Brandon, always an exciting one, especially, like you said, for the new freshmen who are here experiencing their first Friday night football game. The very great atmosphere here at FHN, very strong crowd support from not only parents and students.
Then we play a little football.
Number 5, James Furlow, is kicking. His height is 6'0", and he's the right backer.
A short kick there from Ritenour, picked up by number 87 for the Knights. They will start right on the 50-yard line.
Ball down by the Knights at the 46-yard line. Check that 48-yard line. Knights will start their first and 10.
The Knights heading into their first down here at the FHN Stadium of the year. A great field position really for them to be in. They've got a very short length of the field to hopefully generate some offense and maybe even some scoring here in this first offensive drive. Kester there with a long throw. That one is going to be incomplete.
Pass is intended for number 10, Cameron
It's intended for Cameron
Lewis.
Lewis.
Number 9, Patrick Kester. Second down.
Senior Patrick Kester, the quarterback of this Knights team, had a great night at Northwest, ended up scoring one of the touchdowns off the rush there at the Northwest game to help lead the Knights to their 13 points that they earned on Monday. Kester now handing the ball to number 21, and he takes off. He's going down the field. He's got lots of space. And that's a touchdown for the Knights, their first one of the year, already on their second down.
And that touchdown was completed by none other than Dontrell Woods.
Dontrell Woods there with the scoring touchdown, the top receiver there for the Knights. He leads the team in receiving yards, had the most receiving yards and a touchdown on Friday's win, and they're coming in big again for the Knights after the handoff from Patrick Kester. A fantastic play. Now Marshall Hines will be out to kick the extra point. Hines now just waiting for the snap. That snap just a little off there. Hines wasn't quite able to get the elevation off the football, and that kick is no good. So the North will go up 6-0 here with 11 minutes and 41 seconds left in the first quarter.
So, what do you think they did well on that drive?
Well, Brandon, I think that the Knights really just stayed to their basics there. Patrick Kessler and Dontrell Woods have been connecting here in the beginning of the season. They know that that's a great way to generate offense for their team, and they didn't overthink it. They just ran a simple play, and Dontrell Woods was able to get through the Ritenour's D-line. The Huskies had a couple holes in their defensive line that really allowed Dontrell to just take off, take down the field, and eventually score that touchdown for the Knights. So if they can still keep finding those holes, finding those offensive opportunities, it's going to be a great night for FHN.
Yeah, I didn't see the Ritenour who did it, but one of them pushed him to try to stop him, and it was a great way because it got him right into the end zone and scored that touchdown.
Brought down at the 37-yard line. Huskies will start there 1st and 10.
After that kick received by James Furlow, the Huskies will begin their first offensive drive of this game on the 37-yard line. A little bit of a miss. A little bit of a mishike there, and that is a sack for the Knights. That was number 66, Adele Montesir.
Loss on the play.
The Huskies will now move to a 2nd and 16. Long throw there for Ritenour. That one is incomplete, intended for number 14, intended for number 14 of the Huskies.
For the Huskies. Check that 3rd and 15 from their own 32-yard line.
Third and 15 now for the Huskies, really needing a long pass here if they're going to try and save this drive, get that first down. Huskies scrambling for options, go for that short pass. He has space, gets that first down, is taking off down the field, and the tackle is made by number 8, A.Z. Anderson.
Number 10 of the Huskies just went down around the 30-yard line and incomplete for a touchdown.
It was a bit of an unfortunate play there for Knights. Their defense did a great job in the 1st and 2nd down of really shutting down the Huskies, not giving them any options. And then eventually the Huskies were just able to find some space. He was brought down at the 19-yard line by A.Z. Anderson. That tackle made there by the Knights, number 10, defensive back Cameron Lewis.
Once again, number 10 goes down trying to score some yards.
Gain of 3 on the play. 2nd and 7.
Bit of a scrambling pass there. And that ball goes down.
Loss of 1 on the play. That'll make it 3rd and 8 on the 27-yard line.
Number 2 for the Ritenour, Brian Golden, went to get some yards and got knocked down again.
Short pass there by number 2.
Golden passed it to Whitehorn, number 4, and not successive, but they went for it.
Gain of 3 on the play. Make it 4th down 4 for the Huskies.
Huskies headed to their 4th down there. Looks like the Huskies are going to go for it here on 4th down. A long pass. That pass is incomplete there. That pass was intended for number 14 of the Huskies. That is Trayvon Moore. And with that failed 4th down attempt, FHN will look to regroup and head back on their own 29-yard line.
Yeah. Maybe just a little tad more.
Handoff there from Patrick Kester. That will result in a gain of 1 for the Knights as they'll move to 2nd and 9.
Gain of 3 on the play, 2nd and 7.
That pass blocked there by Ritenour. Looks like that one was blocked by number 18, Cameron McCarty. Excuse me, that was number 67 for Ritenour. Knights now head to a 3rd and 7, really needing a big play here. Kester looks for a pass. Looking down the field, looks for number 10. That pass is blocked once again.
Number 10, Cameron Lewis. That brings up 4th down for the Knights.
Cameron Lewis will head back to the field as the Knights punt this one down after an unfortunate drive there, not able to pick up a 1st down. A fake punt there from Cameron Lewis. Lewis heading down the field. He's got space, and he is pushed out of bounds there by number 14. So there will be some flags on the play, though.
There is a flag on the play.
Still really hard to miss this. Yeah.
Call is illegal shift against the Knights.
Looks like the call will be against the Knights. It's an illegal shift.
That is a 5-yard penalty. We will replay 4th down.
That's with this replay of the 4th down. Cameron Lewis prepares to punt again. Lewis will punt this one. A bit of a short punt heading right out of bounds there, right around the 30-yard line. So Ritenour will start their offensive drive on the Knights' 30-yard line. A great opportunity here. Brian Golden with the fake throw. Number 10 for Ritenour is brought down by Cameron Lewis.
Brought down by number 10, Cameron Lewis. Gain of 4 on the play, 2nd and 6.
Brian Golden again. He's going to run. He found a hole there in the defensive line. He picks up the first down there for the Huskies.
Number 2, Brian Golden on the carry.
Let's see if for,
Gain of 11 on the play, enough for a Huskies first down.
Flags are thrown all over the field here.
let's see if number 2 for Ritenour, Brian Golden, can do another down and maybe even get a touchdown. Right now it's 6-0 and we have 6 minutes left, but
19-yard line.
we'll see how it ends.
False start there for the Huskies will also result in a 5-yard penalty.
Number 10, Marcellus Griffin on the carry.
Running back Marcellus Griffin picking up a couple yards there for the Huskies. They will move to 2nd and 13. Excuse me, that'll be 2nd and 16.
Gain of 3 on the play, 2nd and 12.
Throw there to Griffin. Griffin going through the Knights defense, and that will be a touchdown for the Huskies. A running play there. Great job by Griffin, able to maneuver his way and find his way around the field to score that touchdown. We'll have a tie game. There will be a flag on the field, though, so we'll have to see what happens next.
Holding against the Huskies. That is a 10-yard penalty.
It looks like it'll be a holding call against the Huskies. Very unfortunate play there after great play by Griffin.
And they lost 10 yards from that flag, if I'm not mistaken.
28-yard line, 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul.
The Huskies will almost be where they started this offensive drive, even after that almost touchdown attempt, and will look to replay the second down.
Number 2 throws it to 10. He tries to run in again. Oh, and that's a touch.
Griffin is running again, but there was another flag on the field, so we'll have to see.
But there is a flag on the play.
Hopefully it's a holding one, because I think I want to see Francis Howell North win tonight.
And that penalty is declined.
That call there against the Knights. Huskies will decline. They will come into 2nd and 10. Excuse me, 1st and 10.
Play completion down at the 4-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal from the Huskies.
So the Huskies lost another chance to get that touchdown from another flag.
Handoff there to Griffin. It's like Griffin is on the ground.
Number 10, Marcellus Griffin on the carry, stopped short of the goal line.
That ball will just barely make it out of the end zone.
1 second to goal.
Huskies here are 2nd and inches. The Knights needing some huge defensive stops here. And a big stop there for the Knights. They will keep the Huskies out.
By a host of Knight defenders.
They are now headed to a 3rd down, a big dog pile there in the end zone.
No gain on the play. 3rd and goal for the Huskies.
Let's see if Francis Howell North can hold them back again and maybe just prevent another touchdown from the Huskies.
Rushing pass. That one is also stopped by the Knights. Huskies will stop short.
Number 66, Adele Montesur, brings up a 4th and goal.
This will be a 4th down for the Huskies. A very unfortunate play here for Ritenour as they almost had the touchdown there, but after the holding penalty, that touchdown was taken back. And a great defensive effort here by the Knights. The Huskies inches away from the goal line, and they really have just been shut down here by the Knights defensive line. Huskies will go for the touchdown. And it will be good. Marcellus Griffin there with the touchdown drive.
Number 10, Marcellus Griffin, in for the score from 1 yard out.
I was going to say, I hope they get one because they've been down there for a while and they've been flagged, so.
They will look
Number
for the
2, he's
2-point
running in.
conversion. And they'll get it. That is number 2, Brian Golden there for the Huskies.
For the score, 2-point conversion.
Ritenour will go up 8-6 here.
First quarter.
That's the second touchdown of the night from the Huskies.
Very interesting drives there from both teams, Brandon, from the Huskies and from the Knights. And the Huskies were able to convert after a long slew of penalties on both sides.
So, Emily, what do you think that the Francis Howell North team, the Knights, needs to do better?
Well, Brandon, I think that the first thing the Knights need to do is to avoid penalties. Before that long drive there from the Huskies, they did have a fake punt there by Cameron Lewis. That was actually successful, but they had an unfortunate illegal switch flag there that canceled out that fake punt, and then they weren't able to pick up the yardage, and Lewis was forced to punt. So I think the Knights first need to take a breath, make sure that they're really focusing in on their game, avoiding those penalties so that they can have an opportunity to make some plays and use their offense. I also think their defensive line has been playing well today, but they need to make sure to shut down those players like Brian Thomas, Marcellus Griffin, and Trayvon Moore, the big offensive opportunities here so far that we've seen from the Huskies. Those are the primary players that they're using to move the ball down the field. So if the Knights can focus on blocking those options, making sure those plays aren't available, stopping those runs, then I believe they'll be able to see a lot of success here.
Now, I'm also wondering, Emily, what do you think the Huskies need to do better to get that touchdown like right away and just get right past North's defense?
Well, Brandon, I think that the Huskies might have just had a little nerves there as they had quite a few penalties that just caused them to keep pushing farther and farther back. But I do think they need to continue to keep using their offensive options. The running game from Marcellus Griffin has been working really well, has allowed them to pick up lots of first downs, lots of runs for yardage, and I think they just need to keep playing that game and then hopefully focus on, again, not taking as many penalties. We've had a lot of penalties here in the first quarter that has really been plaguing both teams on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it, but number 10 for the Knights, Cameron Lewis, he had a really nice catch and run, and he made it at least, I think, to the 40-yard line, and it was really nice. But think so far the game's going good. We have 2 minutes, and Knights are 6, and Ritenour Huskies are 8.
Kester there with a complete pass to number 21, Dontrell Woods. He will pick up that first down for the Knights, going down just past the 46-yard line.
Up to the 46-yard line, and that is enough for a Knights first down.
Dontrell Woods, one of our notable players, I think like the first minute or so, he got one of the best touchdowns I've ever seen.
False start against the Knights. That is a
Flag here on the play, another penalty against the Knights, a false start. That's a really costly penalty here on a first down. They'll go to 1st and 15. Consistency will be key here for the Knights to help in their offensive scoring. We've got a minute 42 left in this first quarter. Handoff there for the Knights. That will not result in any yardage. That was run by number 71 for the Knights. Excuse me, 21 Dontrell Woods.
Once again, Dontrell trying to get to the end zone probably again, like the first minute or so of the first quarter of this game. And he really went for it there, but he got knocked down really fast. So let's see if they're going to do that again or not.
Just under a minute left here. Long throw for Kester. That one is complete to Cameron Lewis. Pick up that first down. There will be another flag on the field.
51 pause. Let's see if Knights can do anything to tie. Because that was a nice pass to Cameron Lewis.
Referees will talk it over with the Knights players. Looks like that they are discussing with number 7-6, Cody Houghton.
Penalties targeting. Personal foul against.
That penalty will be against the Huskies. Personal foul there. That'll be 15 yards.
So what do you think that North needs to do in these last 40 seconds or so?
Well, I think they need to do just that, Brandon. There is another touchdown for the Knights. That was a great, complete pass there. Looks like that pass was received by Scott Pauley. What a wonderful play there from Kester to Pauley. Just a really nice long drive. Pauley totally lost his man, was able to get wide open the end zone, and just had a clear run there for a touchdown. The Knights will go up 12-8 and will send Marshall Hines out for the field goal kick. Another penalty here against the Knights that will push Marshall Hines' field goal kick a bit farther back. Lots of false start penalties here against the Knights. That's an easily avoidable penalty that has proven to be costly for them in the past. Hopefully it turns out okay on this drive. Looks like the Knights will actually be going for a 2-point conversion here. Pastor Kester out on the field. Low snap there to Kester. He's looking for his options. Chased down by Ritenour. Kester trying to make the play. Can't quite get in the end zone.
Number 99 for the Huskies just knocked down number 9 for the Knights. Still 37 seconds left on the clock. Let's see if they can maybe get another touchdown.
A good play idea there from Kester and the Knights to increase their lead even more over Ritenour. Unfortunately, that false start penalty just plaguing the Knights again, not allowing them to get that 2-point conversion. The Knights do take the lead, though, up by 4 points here in the first quarter. And Brandon, what are some things that you think the Knights did really well on that last drive?
I think what the Knights did really well, like I was about to ask you what they did, and then they just threw it to the right guy, and he ran in straight to the end zone and got those 4 points that we really needed to, I guess, the Knights to beat the Huskies, per se.
And I liked, Brandon, how they really showed their depth in their offense as well. Tonight you've really seen a lot from players like Dontrell Woods and Cameron Lewis, but there's Stop Holly there picking up the touchdown. A great touchdown catch there, touchdown received to score that point. And the Knights showing that they have a lot of options to be able to score, which is a great opportunity for them. Marshall Hines now with the kickoff. Be a far kick to about the 25-yard line. Huskies heading down the field. First tackle is blocked, and then he is brought down by number 6 for the Knights. That'll be Stop Pauly there with the tackle.
So the man who gets us the touchdown is going to be here to defend till the very end. Still 30 seconds left, though. Let's see what the Huskies can do in this last 30 seconds of the first quarter. And something that really stuck out to me, I don't think he's been on the field yet, but number 79, Kyron, he's the only freshman on the varsity team. So I wonder if he might do something tonight. Might not, but that's pretty crazy to me.
Yeah, great opportunity for Kyron Bryant there, being pulled up to the varsity squad in his freshman year. Another flag on the play here. That'll be against the Huskies. False start. Excuse me, that'll be a delay of game penalty, not a false start penalty.
First and 15.
And that Huskies player will be knocked out of bounds. He was knocked out of bounds by number 65 for the Knights.
The Knights' defense is amazing tonight because right now they're at 25 seconds still on the clock. Like, giving the Huskies such an opportunity, but they keep getting tackled by the Francis Howell Knights.
Throw there goes to number 14. He will be pushed out of bounds. The Huskies picking up some yardage there.
They might have got some yardage, Emily, but they lost a lot of time. I mean, not a lot, but 10 seconds is a lot for the end of the quarter. So, I don't know. Maybe they can run through the whole, field across to the end zone, but I don't think it's looking too good for the Huskies for the end of this quarter. But we'll see.
Running there by Brian Golden. Golden picks up the first down. Working around the Knights of defenders. He is brought down by 3 defenders. Looks like Stop Holly and Cameron Lewis, the ones there to take down Golden. Just 6 seconds left here in the first quarter. Huskies picking up a first down, but will need to move quickly here down the field. And with that, the horn sounds. It is the end of the first quarter. And Brandon, what do you think were some notable things and things we saw often here in this first quarter on both sides?
I think we saw a lot of trying to run for some yards, like a lot of running for yards, and a lot were good and a lot were bad. Mainly the ones that were good, like number 21 at the beginning, I think. He ran and ran and ran and actually got it to the end zone. same with the Huskies. They got that one that got them all the way down to the 40-yard line and was very close to getting a touchdown like that. But they got blocked so much by the defense of the Knights, but it was still amazing on both sides to watch the running down the field.
That's right. Both teams, Brandon, having some really great offensive drive. I think another notable thing from this period, one thing that we kind of talked about often throughout the whole period, was penalties. Both teams having an extreme amount of penalties, many false start penalties or delay of game penalties. Those are things very easily preventable and oftentimes even took away from scoring opportunities or huge yard pickups there for both teams that could have prevented potentially more scoring opportunities. Both teams could have maybe had more points up on the board because of those penalties. So I think both teams will be looking to ease their nerves a little bit, probably looking a little bit nervous here. It's only the second game of the season, still pretty early, and they're looking to kind of figure out their offense, figure out how this team is going to play and look this season. So now that those first quarter jitters are out, they'll be ready to really take on this game. That ball was carried there by number 12 for the Huskies, Caleb Williams. He was brought down right about the 35-yard line.
It started the second quarter, and the Knights are winning by 4, 12-8 against the Ritenour Huskies.
Timeout on the field taken by the Huskies.
Timeout by the Huskies,
First timeout.
their first time out of the game.
So, Brandon, what do you think the Huskies coach is telling them in this timeout as they prepare to head into the second quarter?
Probably try to not just like run straight down the field, but like pass it to the players and then run, and a lot of like talk about try to remember most of the penalties you got and like just try not to get those certain penalties.
I agree, Brandon. I also think they might be looking for some ways to maybe get the ball to players, some of the players that have had a lot of success here on this offense, like Marcellus Griffin, Trayvon Moore. Those are big players here that have had a big impact on this game so far. A player that we have not seen out so far that we mentioned at the beginning of the game, Sincere Jamison. He has not really made a big impact in this game. It's unsure if he's even playing at all. That could be something affecting the Huskies lineup and affecting their offensive performance. That ball carried by number 2, Brian Golden. He will pick up some yards, taken down at the 32-yard line.
Brought down at the 32-yard line. Made a 4 on the play. Brings up a 3rd and 4 for the Huskies.
Huskies now on their third down. Brian Golden hands that ball off there. Big stop there for the Knights defensive line. Brings down Golden right around the 34-yard line. Brings down Griffin right around the 34-yard line. And the Huskies will head to a 4th down.
And that was about 4 Knights on top of him. That probably hurt.
I'm sure, Brandon. Golden with the fake pass. That pass will be complete there to number 4 of the Huskies, Donovan Whitehorn. They will pick up a 1st down.
That was a nice pass from Brian Golden, and I'm excited to see more of his passes tonight because we have him a lot on the notable players, and I think he's going to be pretty good tonight. He's only a junior too, which is pretty good, so when he's a senior, I think he's going to do amazing maybe.
First down attempt here. Golden handing that ball to Griffin. He is taken down, looks like by Scott Pauley there, right around the 20-yard line.
Marcellus Griffin on the carry.
be at a 2nd and 4 here.
Another pass off from Golden to the same person.
Golden will be running. Golden will grab a touchdown there for Ritenour. An impressive running play there by Golden.
Actually,
Bringing
sorry,
a
I thought
20-yard
Golden passed
touchdown.
it, but he actually ran it out and brought it straight to the end zone and got another touchdown for them. So now it's 14-12. The Knights are losing by 2, and Ritenour has 14.
Ritenour will be looking for a 2-point conversion here. Golden and Griffin out on the field. Golden looking for pass opportunity. He runs. He is taken down. Huge tackle there by number 3 of the Knights.
8:44 remaining in the first half. Huskies 14, Knights 12.
A big stop there by Kalik Thomas, stopping that. A 2-point conversion from Brian Golden. The Knights trailing here by 2. Brandon, what are some things you think that they are going to be looking to do in this upcoming drive?
I think the Knights are going to be trying to avoid all penalties because they don't want to lose any yards. I mean, I know we still have a lot of time, but after that touchdown, I think they're going to try to make it probably 16-12 instead of 14-12 because they don't really want to lose this game because they haven't won a game since 2014, and I think they're all pretty hyped to win this game or play this game and try to win.
Since they haven't won a game against Ritenour, Brandon, in 2014, I think they're really looking, as you said, to pick up and really wanting to take this one, especially capturing their first one of the season at home in front of this really passionate crowd here tonight.
Kickoff for the Huskies, number 5, James Furlow.
James Furlow now with the kickoff for the Huskies. Strong kick there by Furlow.
Ooh. Looks like it hurt, but I believe the Knights got that ball. Did you see the way that number 21's legs folded? That looked really scary.
Knights will start 1st and 10 from their own 26-yard line. How about you, Knights fans?
Knights here at a 1st and 10. Ball snapped past Ketster. He hands that ball off, and it is moved down the field. The Knights are taken down right around the 33-yard line.
By number 5 for the Ritenour Huskies. Number 5 is James Furlow.
Flag on the play there after the snap.
So who and what are you looking forward to the players of Francis Howell North or Ritenour Huskies? What do you want to see from them and who exactly?
Well, Brandon, I think one of the interesting plays that we've seen tonight from the Huskies is that Brian Golden has been a very active quarterback. He's not only running plays, handing the ball off to his running back, throwing some great passes for some great touchdowns. He's also picked up a lot of running yards here in this match. He's even picked up a touchdown from running. That's something we haven't really seen Patrick Kester do as often tonight. He is capable of doing that. That was how he scored his first touchdown against Northwest. That's something I'd really like to see him more do. Kester, on the other hand, has a lot of really, really good passing plays tonight. He's also been able to move his running backs and work in some plays that have been able to get some long drives there for the Knights. So I think that they should both be working to sort of emulate some of the positive qualities in one another. I'm also looking forward to seeing some of the running backs of the Knights hopefully pick up a few more yards there.
Yeah, I completely agree, Emily. But for the Knights, I agree with like the Huskies, but I think one of the biggest people that I was looking at so far this game is Dontrell Woods, number 21. He's the right backer. He just, I don't know, it's so astonished me to see him do that like really fast drive all the way to the end zone at the beginning of the game. And he's been doing a lot of them, and then his legs just got folded, which was kind of funny, but hopefully like he's fine, so it's not like something that I can not be able to joke about, you know what I mean? And I think he's been running a lot and good tonight. But I completely agree with number 2 for the Ritenour.
And 2 back-to-back false start penalties against the Knights. That is a 10-yard penalty in total here over 2 potential drives. 7 minutes, 43 seconds left. But that is a huge cost for the Knights. A 1st and 10 has now turned into a 1st and 20, and the Knights will need some big offensive plays to be able to get back in this game and hopefully pick up a first down. They'll need some long passing plays from Patrick Kester, hopefully using their running backs to also help get open.
So right now, as the Ritenour Huskies are getting back on the field, what do you expect to see from both teams right now in this drive?
Well, I think Kester is probably going to run some kind of passing play. They need to pick up a lot of yards here very quickly. I think he's going to look for his options, look for Dontrell Woods, potentially look for Jalen Fleming, another senior here on this team. Kester looking for his options, throws ball long downfield. That is picked up by Cameron Lewis. Lewis has space there on the field. He is brought down, but a huge play there for the Knights. He is brought down by the Ritenour 11-yard line. What an amazing play there by the Knights. Down by a 1st and 20 and able to come back.
That was so good. I'm pretty positive for the Knights tonight. I know they haven't won since 2014, but you know it's been 5 years, and I don't know. Maybe they've been practicing just for this game.
Personal foul. First foul against the Huskies. Third on the game of play.
There will be a personal foul against the Huskies there. Extremely costly foul there. The Knights will be starting on the 6-yard line. They're coming after a 1st and 20 right around their own 35-yard line. A unfortunate penalty for the Huskies right around a really impressive play. And there goes Patrick Kester, a huge running play there. That'll be another Knights touchdown.
Now it's 18-14. The Knights are winning.
Great play there from Kester all around, not only picking up that huge pass there at the beginning of the play, but then running it in and getting that touchdown.
I know that 11 to minus the 5 yards for that penalty the Huskies got really gave us that big advantage we needed to just run it straight into the end zone and get that touchdown.
Two-point conversion there. AZ Anderson will run. He gets the 2-point conversion, and the Knights will go up in this game. 20-14 will be the final score here in the second quarter. 7-22 here still to go.
Folks, the Francis Howell School District maintains non-smoking campuses. Francis Howell North High School and all of its facilities are non-smoking environments, and we respectfully ask to refrain from smoking during all athletic contests. Thank you so much.
you know, me being a freshman, I saw the JV game 38-0, and I was like, I'm betting the varsity team is really good, and I was not expecting this tonight. This is really good and a great experience.
The Knights, Brandon, having a really great start here to this first game, going up 6 points. Kick here coming from Marshall Hines. Strong kick there from Hines. That will bounce back into the end zone.
In the end zone for a touchback. Ball will be placed at the 20-yard line. Huskies will start there, 1st and 10.
Definitely.
Number 10, running, and the Knights knocked him down. He went for a run straight through, and the Knights just defended and used the best offense they had.
Yeah. I had a good feeling. I felt like we could try to break that curse in the first street.
Huskies will move to 2nd 4. Running past their handoff there, to Marcellus Griffin. They will pick up the first down.
Say everything's looking really good.
At the 35-yard line. Gain of 9 on the play, and for a Huskies first down.
Running play there again, going to Griffin. Griffin moving through the Knights defense until he was brought down on the Huskies' own 40-yard line.
I'm hoping this time that they try a pass maybe and not just straight through again. I know he can do it, but it's not really a desperate attempt. They're down by 6, but it's only the 2nd quarter. I could see him he doesn't have to run straight through. I think he has a little bit of time and he can play a little safe and not do the same thing right after that. But we'll see what happens.
Golden there looking for a long pass. That pass complete there to Ritenour, and Ritenour will score here. Ritenour coming right back with the touchdown attempt. This game will be tied now 20-20. A great pass there from Brian Golden.
I don't know if he can hear me, but right when I said pass, I was not expecting him to pass, and he passed that, and he just ran straight down and got it straight into the end zone and tied it up.
It's like the receiver of that touchdown, Donovan Whitehorn, a really impressive catch there from Ritenour.
He really heard my call when I asked for a pass and not a straight run through. They're down by the 10-yard line. Let's see what they can do.
Looking for the 2-point conversion. Golden goes for the throw. That one a bit high, intended for number 34 of the Huskies.
5 minutes, 39 seconds remaining in the first half. Folks, we are tied at 20. We got ourselves a football game.
This score will remain tied 20-20. A very interesting and exciting 2nd quarter here for both teams.
There's still 5 minutes, though, so we could see anything from both teams, and we can expect anything. So what are you expecting from the next few runs?
Well, Brandon, I do think we're going to be able to see another touchdown. I think both teams have proven that they are very capable offensively. I think we could even see a touchdown, from both teams here with 5 minutes remaining. That can be a lot of time to work with in football, and so I really think that both teams are going to be trying to continue to ramp up their offense. That's been the success story of both teams. On the Knights side, it's Patrick Kester, Scott Pauley, Cameron Lewis. that 2-point conversions there from AZ Anderson. They have really been the running offensive story for this team. And on the Huskies side of the ball, it's been Brian Golden's running game, as well as Marcellus Griffin and Trayvon Moore as well. Griffin and Brian Golden have really been connecting well tonight, have led to a lot of the scoring drives and opportunities and touchdowns here for the Huskies. I expect they'll take some more advantage of that here in the second quarter.
Yeah, I completely agree with you with the 5-minute thing. I think it's so much time in football, and we've seen some great players out here, and I expect at least 2 more touchdowns. Maybe not from both teams, but like from both teams, if you know what I mean. Like not separate, but both.
Robert Kyle there with the kick return for the Knights. They will start on their own, it's like 47-yard line.
Knights will start from their own 47-yard line.
Oh, yeah.
First and 10.
I don't know if you see the yard line thing. So sometimes you like don't notice something. I never even noticed it. Is that what?
Another flag on the play here. That will be a flag against the Knights. Knights will head to a 1st and 15 after that penalty there, after 5-yard penalty. Kester there going to Cameron Lewis. Lewis has space, gets brought down at the Huskies' 47-yard line.
Not a lot of yards, but enough yards.
A good pickup there for the Knights heading to 2nd and 3. They will run this ball. Dontrell Woods going down the field, picks up the first down. He is taken down there by the Huskies at the 39-yard line, but will pick up the first down for the Knights. They will continue this offensive drive.
At the 38-yard line, enough for a Knights first down.
Kester looking for a throw. He goes deep, going to Cameron Lewis. That pass just a little bit too far. Lewis not quite able to get there.
Cameron Lewis, second down.
Second down there for the Knights, but I do like that play from Patrick Kester. I think that that play has worked really well for them in these past couple drives, going from Kester to play deep field down with Cameron Lewis. They've been able to pick up a lot of yards that way. That handoff there for the Knights, able to fight through, brought down at the 31-yard line. That ball carried by AZ Anderson. Third and 4 now on this play. Knights taken down there at the 30-yard line, not quite able to pick up that first down yet, and they will head to a 4th down. 4 and 2 here from the Knights after a carry from AZ Anderson. So, Brandon, what do you think is going through the Knights' head right now? They're at a tie game, just under 4 minutes left in the second quarter, and they're really hoping to pick up some offensive opportunities here on the 30-yard line, a really great opportunity, but also at a 4-2.
I think either he's going to pass it and someone's going to run straight to the end zone, or he's going to pass it, they're going to get knocked straight down, or someone's just going to run straight for it, or the quarterback for the Knights is going to run straight to the end zone, or as many yards as he can get.
False start there from the Huskies. That'll be a pickup of 5 yards there for the Knights, and a first down for the Knights.
That is a 5-yard penalty. That will be enough for Knights. First down.
Great way to pick up an opportunity and a first down. And a huge catch there for the Knights, but unfortunately that one will not be incomplete. Intended for Cameron Lewis. Almost an amazing scoring opportunity there. Just couldn't quite get that pass caught and in the end zone. Kester, a bit of a short pass there. That went to number 10 on the Knights, and they will head to a second down.
There's still about 3 minutes left, and kind of sad. We didn't see either of those 2 touchdowns I was really hoping for, but we might in a second from the Knights as they start up their drive. Looks like I was completely wrong. I knocked down straight when it started.
Running pass there, and play from the Knights wasn't quite able to pick up the yardage they needed. They will go to a 4th and 10. Looks like the Knights are going to go for it here on the 4th and 10. They are on the Huskies' 25-yard line. Snap to Kester. Kester looking for options. He goes deep down the field. And it is ruled as incomplete.
So do you think in this next drive that they're going to complete, like totally complete and get this end zone touchdown, or do you think it's going to take a few more drives?
Well, I'm not sure, Brandon, actually. I think penalties might be an option, although I will say the penalties have calmed down a little bit there from the first quarter. I think the players are getting a little bit more settled into this game. But I think that the Huskies do have some options in their scoring drives. Brian Golden could run. It looks like they've had a lot of success with their running game. With Griffin, they will continue most likely to do that, to go for those first downs. Griffin there picking up 5 yards will move to a 2nd and 5.
Even though the last throw was an incomplete throw, did you think it was like kind of a good idea to just like throw it right when he was about to go down and almost get that touchdown?
I think the Knights were calling some smart plays here. They've had a lot of success with their passing game tonight. They've scored some touchdowns, had some really long, successful passes from, especially with Cameron Lewis and Patrick Kester. I think that was the right play call. Just, it was a very, very tricky pass, and I think they did the best that they could with what they had.
Brian Golden now has the ball. We've been talking about other stuff and not really like play by playing the game, but still pretty good. I guess it got intercepted while we weren't looking or something. I didn't see it.
Gain of 3 on the play.
But now the Huskies have the ball.
1.
1 minute left in this game, and it's still tied. Let's see if the Huskies can run all the way down the field or pass it straight down the field or just in general get a touchdown.
Penalty. They'll make it 3rd and 6 from the Huskies' own 29-yard line.
They're on the 29-yard line, and they have to go all the way down to the 40-yard line, I believe, right? So let's see, 1 minute and 18 seconds left. As the drive starts, number 10 tries to run for it, and the Knights knock him straight down.
Huskies will head to a 4th down. Great defensive play there from the Knights. Under a minute to go here. Clock ticking down very quickly.
Only 40 seconds left, and I'm pretty sure that I don't think they're going to get those touchdowns that we wanted. Both teams are able to do it and were able to do it, but I guess they just didn't realize they had enough time.
Coming into the game now for the Knights, number 66, Adele Montesir. He has been a strong defensive presence here for the Knights. Had quite a few very important tackles here to stop some Huskies drives. Knights now calling a timeout with 18 seconds left.
What do you think they're saying to the Knights right now? Or what do you think the coach is saying to the Knights, Emily?
Well, Brandon, I think that the Knights are really just looking to carry some momentum into the second half. They've only got 18 seconds left. Not to say that something couldn't happen, but it's not as much time to work with. So I think they're really just taking some time to calm some nerves down, make sure that they don't make any costly mistakes as far as penalties go, and have some pretty solid play here.
I agree with all that pretty much. I'm pretty sure the only thing that they could really do is get the best catch or something. I don't know. Let's see. $18 seconds as the time starts, and
that ball picked up by AZ Anderson. Looks like there might be a flag on the field. 9 seconds left.
they have 9 seconds, so I'm pretty sure that's the end of this quarter, and there's not going to be any more touchdowns. What do you think?
I think we might have to see with what this offense can come up with.
I think it's impossible, but maybe, just maybe, the Knights might pull off something amazing.
Knights looking to get set up here on their first down. Low snap there to Kester. Kester looking over its options, got some pressure. Sends it for a first down. Received by Cameron Lewis. He's taken down at the Huskies 30-yard line. 1 second left here in the first quarter. the second quarter.
Down at the 30-yard line of the Huskies. It's enough for a Knights first down. 1.3 seconds remaining in the half.
Timeout here from the Knights. A really, really quick play is going to be needed here if they're going to try and turn this 1.3 seconds into something right before halftime.
How many yards do they have to run down the field?
It's like it'll be about 30 yards to the end zone.
30 yards to the end zone. 1 second left on the clock. Definitely the only thing that can make them get a touchdown is a big miracle. So I know the quarter's not over yet, but what do you think the Knights and the Huskies did pretty well? I'm gonna say I think the Huskies and the Knights really didn't get that many penalties, and I mean they didn't get any touchdowns, but they went for them and tried their hardest.
Definitely, Brandon. I think that second quarter was a much better improvement for both teams than the first quarter. I think that they were able to clean up their game, didn't take quite as many penalties as in the first quarter. They definitely were there. They definitely were prevalent, did hurt both teams there at certain times. But I do think that they both did a good job of using their offensive strength. You saw Marquez Griffin, Brian Golden on the Huskies side getting a lot of yards for the Huskies. And then you also saw Cameron Lewis, AZ Anderson on the Knights side also picking up some receiving yards, some rushing yards there. And they were able to both have success. We are tied up here at 20 points for the Knights. And we will head to halftime. We have some great halftime performances for you by the Night Pride Marching Band as well as our varsity cheer and Nightline performances. So we will be back with you here right around 8:30 here on FHNtoday.com/live. Thank you so much for tuning in with us tonight.
and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the best band in all the land, the Francis Howell North Night Pride Marching Band. This year's show is entitled... The Night Pride Marching Band is under the direction of Mr. Rob Stegeman with assistance from Christopher Grissom, Mike Davis, Matthew Banks, Nathaniel Hoyle, Hannah Novak, Matthew Bronner, Emmy Harms, Liz Pace, Sarah Latis, Lauren Arata, and Ashley Hughes. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for your Varsity Nightline. They will be performing their pond routine for your halftime entertainment. Take it away, Nightline.
Crowd Night Line. We all put your hands together for the varsity cheerleaders.
And welcome back here. If you are just now joining us, thank you for coming to FHNtoday.com/live. My name is Emily Hood, joined here by my co-announcer, Brandon Light. We are just headed into the second half of tonight's Friday night football game here at Francis Howell North. The FHN Knights are taking on the Ritenour Huskies. We are tied at a 20-20 score here after a very, very eventful first half.
Nice, amazing intro for me. Thank you, and you. My only question for you is, what do you want to see this quarter and next quarter, and who do you think will do it, kind of?
Well, I think we're going to see a lot of what we saw in the first quarter in terms of the offense. I think that the Huskies are primarily looking at their rushing game. They've gotten a lot of success with Griffin on their rush. He's been primarily one of their biggest pickups in yards. He's had a lot of success. We've also seen Brian Golden pick up some yards on the rush from the quarterback position, and I think that's what the Huskies are going to stick with really here in the second half. It's what they've had success with. They've put 20 points on the board using that gameplay. I think they're just going to continue to use that mindset. The Huskies have tried to pass a little bit, but they haven't seen as much success with their passing as they have on the rush, so I think they'll continue to use that rush. In terms of the Knights have had a really great passing game. Patrick Kester, quarterback for the Knights, has had a really great game, throwing some great passes to Scott Pauley, Cameron Lewis, and AZ Anderson at times for some great touchdowns. And Scott Pauley there scoring one of the touchdowns in the first half. And I think the Knights will continue to try and use their passing game. Their rush has been good tonight, but I think really their success tonight has lied in their receiving and their passing.
Yeah, I completely agree. My only two other questions are, what do you want to see that you haven't seen in tonight's game at all? And, never mind, just one question.
Well, Brandon, I think I would really like to see on the Husky side, I might like to see a little bit more passing just because the Knights' defensive line has been pretty strong tonight. They've been able to shut down some of the rushing yards, and especially in key moments in this game, the Knights have been able to shut down the Huskies on the rush. So I'd like to see maybe using Trayvon more on the Husky side. He had a pretty good first half. He was getting involved with some of the passes from Brian Golden, but then got a little quiet there in the second quarter, and I think they could try and bring him back a little bit more. As for the Knights, I really would like to see some more attempts towards two-point conversions. I felt like when they did that more in the end of the second quarter, they were having some success with it. Anderson for the Knights with a good two-point conversion at the end of the second quarter to bring the Knights to 20. And I think that if they can continue to do that and then maybe also look for some field goal attempts as well, we haven't really seen a lot of field goals, especially if they're able to generate a lot of offense here in the second half, pull ahead on a big lead. I might like to see the field goal as well. The Huskies here will be at 2nd and 4 right on the 34-yard line. Golden there with a quiet pass to Griffin. Griffin able to recover that one, but that pass was initially incomplete. They will head back to the 40-yard line after a loss of 6. Brian Golden looking for a pass. He passes to number 14, Trayvon Moore. Trayvon Moore with space down the side of the field. Moore picking up a touchdown here very early in the third quarter. Great run there for Moore. And the Huskies will go up to 26 points. As I was saying earlier, getting Trayvon Moore more involved in the offense I thought might lead to some success for the Huskies, and that turns into a great play here at the start of the third quarter. Couldn't have asked for a better start for Ritenour.
think the Knights are definitely going to have a pretty hard recovery. Not really. There's still like 10 minutes left. I think they could easily catch up. But good score for the Huskies. That was a nice run in.
Huskies also grabbed that 2-point conversion. They will go up to 28. Nice run there by Bryant Bolton.
10:13 remaining in the third quarter. Huskies 28, Knights 20.
Huskies here preparing for the kickoff. This kickoff will be taken, looks like, by number 5, James Furlow. Strong kick there by Furlow. That is bouncing out of bounds, and a flag will be thrown on the play. That flag will be against the Huskies for a out-of-bounds kick. The Knights will start from their own 35-yard line here on this offensive drive, really needing a big play here. Hopefully get back and make this game tied up all again.
The Knights have the 35-yard line in 10 minutes, and they're down by 8, but I think we can maybe see a big recovery.
Another flag thrown on the play. False start against the Knights. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. Moving on to a 1st and 15.
Sorry, not a 35, a 30-yard start. It's still 10 minutes, so let's see.
Running there, Dontrell Woods dodging through the Ritenour defenders until he is finally taken down. Taken down by Kevin Tyler there of the Ritenour Huskies. He will pick up 5. We will move to a 2nd and 10. Kester gets the snap. He throws to Jalen Fleming. Fleming looking for space down the field. A great pickup by Fleming, brought down on the Huskies' 40-yard line.
Jalen Fleming across midfield, out of bounds. At the Huskies' 40-yard line. That is enough for a Knights first down.
That ball handed off to Dontrell Woods. He will pick up 5 yards.
Out of bounds at the 34-yard line.
2nd and 5 here, snap to Kester. Kester looking for options. Kester with some pressure now, throw there. And that throw is blocked there by Ritenour.
What do you think the Francis Howell Knights need to do better to get to the end zone?
Well, Brandon, I think that they've been doing a pretty good job so far of running their offense, but I do think they could try to just pick up a little bit more yards here and there. I think that their running play was doing a good job of grabbing some yards here early, and I really think it's just going to come down to Kester connecting with his receivers like he's been doing all night. I think that's what he's going to be looking for here. Pass there to Dontrell Woods. Woods with space. He will pick up the first down, and he's still going. Dontrell Woods moving through three Ritenour defenders, and
Woods
a
gets
huge
a touchdown
there. Huge touchdown there for Dontrell Woods. An impressive play there, moving through almost the entire Ritenour defense throughout that drive there. Picks up a really, really big touchdown for the Knights. It's likely they will be going for the 2-point conversion here.
Still about the top of the third, and it's 28 Huskies, 26 Knights, 8 minutes left. And that was a very nice. Let's see if they can get this 2-pointer.
Kester hands that ball off to A.Z. Anderson. Anderson still fighting, not quite able to make it into the end zone there. The Knights will not pick up those 2 points, but they are coming closer, edging closer to that lead. 26-28 now is the score in this third quarter.
With 8:41 remaining in the third quarter, Huskies 28, Knights 26.
So, Brandon, what do you think the Huskies will be looking to do here on this offensive drive?
I think the Huskies either are going to do a pass play or just run it straight in just like Dontrell Woods did, get past all their ringers and like main defense. But if not that, like definitely a pass play would do really nicely right now.
Kickoff coming now here from Marshall Hines. Strong kick here from Hines. That is received by Ritenour. Ritenour moving down the field, looking for space, brought down at Ritenour's own 34-yard line. That kick was received by number 10 for the Ritenour Huskies, Marcellus Griffin.
Huskies will have it there, 1st and 10. Official timeout on the field.
Timeout will now be called here on the field by Ritenour. And Brandon, what are some of the really positive things that you've seen so far in the second half?
I've seen some really nice run downs, like them running straight down the field, running past all the defense and offense. And I think they did really well with the runs, and they had that very nice pass from the quarterback on the Knights team. Same with the Huskies. They caught that kicking ball just now, and they ran it right through, but, you know, North's offense got them down, but I think they still have a chance. They're up by 2.
8:35 here left in the third quarter. Ritenour beginning here at a 1st and 10. Quick pass there to Ritenour. He's got space, brought down there at the 50-yard line. That'll be a 1st down. Be Marcellus Griffin there with the carry. Again, his rush game has just been so impressive and helpful here for the Huskies.
Yeah, I agree. We've seen so much of him tonight, and I don't want it to stop. I want to keep seeing all that positive and like amazing like catching and running. And
Handoff there to Griffin. Griffin picks up 8 yards there. Will be on the Knights' 47-yard line.
Down at the 43-yard line. Gain of 6 on the play. 2nd and 4.
And a big running play there again from Marcellus Griffin off of the toss from Brian Golden. Another first down there for Ritenour. Griffin goes out of bounds.
Like I've said, we've seen a lot of him tonight, and I just don't want it to stop, and that's one of the examples why.
Flag on the play, holding against the Huskies. 10-yard penalty for the spot of foul.
They flagged there on that penalty. Unfortunate flag there for the Huskies after that big yard pickup essentially being taken away. A 10-yard penalty for holding. That can be really frustrating for the team, especially when they've had such a great play from Marcellus Griffin.
The Huskies 49-yard line. 2nd and 12.
Toss there from Brian Golden. That is incomplete. That was intended for number 24 of the Huskies. That would be Nico Blount. Now a 3rd and 12 there for the Huskies after hoping to get that first down. A really unfortunate play here. They'll be looking to pick up some big yards. My guess would be that they go with Griffin again. He's been their most solid choice here offensively.
But we've also seen a lot of running from the quarterback, number 2, and that is a catch. Incomplete, straight to number...
Pass is incomplete.
Can't see it.
Brings up 4th down.
Good pass attempt there from the Huskies. The receiver just wasn't quite able to get his hands on it. And we will head to 4th down. This will be a 4th and 12 for Ritenour. Brian Golden is on the field. Will they go for this 4th down? 4th and 12. They'll be needing a big throw here. Looks like that'll be a punt kick there. Knights now on the return. Knights moving quickly. Cameron Lewis still on his feet. A huge pickup from Lewis. Great run there off the kick up. Brought down at the Huskies 40-yard line. Huskies players slow to get up off the field.
30-yard line. The Knights will have it there. 1st and 10.
Knights will be looking to pick up some momentum offensively here with great field position on the 40-yard line. They've got a lot of opportunities here to move closer to that end zone, hopefully pick up a touchdown and start to take a little bit more of a lead here in this game as they do still trail by 2. Snap goes to Kester. That's handed to Dontrell Woods. Woods captures up the first down and a dog pile here on the 27-yard line. Big pickup there for Woods.
Brought down at the 26-yard line. And that's enough for 8 Knights. First down.
Tester looking over his options. He's got pressure and an interception there thrown to Ritenour. That ball will be intercepted
by number 20.
Huskies will take over.
That pass caught on the 5-yard line there. An unfortunate error, stroke of bad luck here, and a great catch there by Caleb Clemens for the Huskies.
5-yard line.
The Knights will now move on defense. The Huskies defending from their own 5-yard line. Brian Golden running now, looking for space. He will pick up the first down. Land on the Huskies 17-yard line for a 1st and 10.
Brian Golden on the carry. Brought down at the 17-yard line. Gain of 12 on the play. Now for a Huskies first down.
Knights there with a solid stop. That'll be a loss of 2 for the Huskies. Looks like there was a fumble there on that play too, and the Knights will recover it. A great recovery there. Great field position too. The Knights with a great opportunity here. Impressive play. And we just see 2 turnovers back to back. First the Knights with that interception, but then they were just able to bring it right back here for an offensive move.
Knights will get it back. First and 10 from the Huskies 19-yard line.
Ball is snapped to Pastor Tester. He goes to Dontrell Woods. Woods stopped there for no gain on that play.
Lewis on the carry. Loss of 2 on the play.
5 minutes still in the game, and Francis Howell North is only losing by 2. We'll see who recovers at the end of this quarter and who has the best score right now. Right now, North has the ball, but that could definitely change. We've seen a lot from the Huskies tonight and a lot from the Knights tonight.
Ball is handed off, moving to the end zone, and we've got a touchdown here for the Knights.
Number 50? Number 50, Braden Salter, with that nice touchdown straight to the end zone. He passed all those defense people.
A nice handoff play there for the Knights. That will put them up on the board. It's like there's some discussion on that play there between the referees. Touchdown might not have counted here for the Knights. Lots of discussion between the coaches and the players here on the field. Looks like there was a penalty on that play. That touchdown will not count, and the Knights will look to do it again. Tester goes right on the top of the defensive line, but that pass will be incomplete.
There's a 3rd down and long for the Knights. Ball's at the Huskies 25-yard line.
Snap goes to Kester. He's looking for options, has some pressure. Kester throwing wide, looking for Cameron Lewis, just wasn't quite able to make that. Now we're headed to a 4th down. That'll be 4th and 16.
Pass was incomplete to Cameron Lewis. He really went for that pass, and if he had it, I believe they could have gotten that touchdown.
Kester definitely feeling that pressure there from the Ritenour defense. Number 77, Kevin Tyler, working and placing some pressure on the Knights quarterback. Kester with a short pass there. The Knights not able to come up with that first down. A tackle there from number 88 for Ritenour. It'll be Marquand Fields there with the tackle. Huskies will now take on, for their look at trying to generate some offense, they will start from their own 19-yard line. For options, Ritenour moving down the field. They are brought down at the 27-yard line. Brian Golden rushing through the play as Ritenour. They will pick up the first down. That'll be Marcellus Griffin there again on the tackle. Excuse me, on the carry. Griffin again with the carry. Working through the defense, stays on its feet until he is brought down by Adele Montesir. Golden there looking to run. He will pick up the first down, stays on his feet, and then is brought down at the 51. Tackle there made by number 8, AZ Anderson.
Two minutes on the clock. That was the Huskies' first down. Who do you think, or do you think anybody's going to score a touchdown? And if so, who and how?
Well, I think we could still see some offense here. I think Marcellus Griffin, if he gets going, he's been having a great drive so far here. He could help generate some offense for the Knights. The Knights were looking a little bit shaky in some of their defensive line. I think their defensive line needs to tighten up a little bit to not let Griffin and Golden be able to run through and pick up some yards. I think they just need to shut them down there at the line of scrimmage, and then they will be able to stop any scoring. I do think we could still see an opportunity. It's been a little bit of a slower period here with that potential touchdown by the Knights that then did get taken back. But overall, both teams have been pretty well evenly matched in this quarter. Flag will be thrown here on this play.
Yeah, Emily, I completely agree. And I think for the Knights, like, their best runner right now is Dontrell Woods, number 21, and I agree with Marcellus Griffin, number 10 for the Huskies. They're both like two amazing runners, and they both doing really good tonight.
Golden hands off to Griffin. Griffin with space moving down the field, quickly down, and a touchdown for Ritenour. Marcellus Griffin will put the Huskies up, even further up against the Knights. Huskies will have an 8-point lead with 1 minute, just under 2 minutes here left.
25 yards on the score.
The Knights defense so solid here in the beginning of the match. Now it looks like they seem to be struggling a bit against the rush game of Ritenour.
Special delivery, boys.
Ritenour going for the 2-point conversion, not able to grab it. Pass was complete there to number 14, Trayvon Moore, but he was not able to make it to the end zone. Flag on the field there against the Knights. Oops. A lucky break here for the Huskies. They will get to redo that 2-point conversion. And the Knights once again able to stuff that 2-point conversion.
That is no good. 1:59 left in the third quarter. Huskies 34, Knights
Huskies will
26.
still go up by 8 here in the third quarter. Brandon, what do you think are some things that the Knights need to improve upon after that touchdown? They're here at the end of the third quarter. They've got one more quarter to pick it up and try to make a comeback here.
I think the only thing we need to see better from the Knights in this quarter is like a better defense and a better line, kind of, you know what I mean? And just if we can get that better defense and make sure they get stopped right away, like, or not right away, but make sure they don't get any yards. So we take away time and yards. What about you?
Yeah, I think you're right. I really think the Knights need to focus on their defense here at this point. It seems like Ritenour has become very solid on their running play with Marcellus Griffin, and why wouldn't they? It's been working really well for them. They were able to pick up a touchdown just now with that running play. But I think the Knights, if they cannot figure out how to seal up their defense, stop that run, and stop them at the line of scrimmage, they're just going to keep on struggling here tonight.
James Furlow with that kick from the Huskies.
Result of the return. Knights will have it first and 10 from their own 36-yard line.
Knights starting in their own end of the field. Kester goes for Cameron Lewis on the outside. A good block there from Jalen Fleming so that Cameron Lewis could get through, and that'll be a first down for the Knights.
I have a question, Emily. You remember back when they were over on their side about to score, and after they scored, they got the two-pointer? Do you think if they got that two-pointer that they could have been like with a really good lead right now and the Knights would be winning, or do you think it'd be going the same way and they drop defense a little bit?
I'm not exactly sure, Brandon. That's a good question. I think that there's been a lot of positives and a lot of negatives of this game. I think that offensively the Knights have had some really good moments, and then they've also had some moments where they maybe had a couple slip-ups. I think defensively you could likely say the same. So I think that 2 points would have helped. It would have at least brought them within touchdown range, because of right now in a deficit of 8 points, they could get the touchdown and get the 2-point conversion and then only still be tied. So I do think that that 2-point conversion would have helped, but it's tough to say that if the Knights would have taken a dominating lead or not, depending on how their defense might have turned out.
Yeah, that was a nice Patrick Coaster to Dontrell Woods. He didn't really get that far, I don't think, but it was a pretty good pass to him. Once again, Coaster with another pass straight to 9.
Fleming will pick up about 4 yards there.
At the Huskies 48-yard line.
We will move to a 3rd and 7 for the Knights.
That's the end of the third quarter. The score, Huskies 34.
And the clock winds down here in the 3rd quarter, headed to the final quarter, the final 12 minutes of this game. The Knights at the Huskies 48. Brandon, what do you think the Knights need to do to come back and get that 8 points and hopefully tie this game?
Like I said, the defense, and then I think they also need to really work on staying calm. Even though they're losing, they still have a lot of time, and they can do some nice passes, some nice runs, get Dontrell Woods in there again, make him run straight to the end zone. And any passes from Patrick Coaster that actually make it and are really good, I think we could see some positive impact.
I agree, Brandon. I think that the Knights just kind of need to get back to their basics. What they were doing at the beginning of the game was working really well. I think that Kester was throwing those long passes. He was having those completions and really picking up a lot of yards in a very short amount of time. We haven't seen that as much here towards the end of the 3rd quarter, seeing more short passes and then looking for the run. That can work at times, but I think that they had more success going for those really long passes. So I really think that they might need to improve upon that, look upon that, and hope to come back here and get that 8 points and get back into this game. Snap here goes to Kester. Kester looking for a pass. He will get the first down, a completed pass there on the 36-yard line. That will be caught by Jalen Fleming.
Down at the 37-yard line. That is enough for our Knights. Say it with me now. First down.
Rush there to Cameron Lewis. Lewis moving down the field. Lewis still on his feet, though knocked out of bounds by number 14. A huge pickup of yards there. Knocked out of bounds by Trayvon Moore.
Out of bounds at the Huskies 23-yard line. Gain of 14 on the play, and that is enough for our Knights. First down.
Flag here on the field. That will be against the Huskies.
That's a 5-yard penalty.
Picked up for the Knights here. They will be on the 16th-yard line. 1st and 5. Inching ever closer there to that end zone. Kester now with a long throw. Diving catch. Impressive effort there for the Knights. That pass just not able to make it. Knights will try again, 2nd and 5.
2nd and 5 for the Knights.
Kester again.
Pass incomplete
Pass is incomplete.
to Dontrell Woods, number 21.
Pass just a little bit too far for Woods. Couldn't quite get his hands on it. We will head to a 3rd down. This is a crucial down here for the Knights. They need this 1st down. It will be a flag on the field here. Penalty against the Knights. Really tough penalty to take here on this 3rd down. They'll move to a 3rd and 10. Kester with some pressure. That pass just a little bit too high from Cameron Lewis. Will head to a 4th down.
Emily, don't you think all of these penalties are really like negatively and positively affecting both teams?
Absolutely, Brandon. I think each team has taken an extreme amount of penalties tonight, and especially at really crucial times. That false start penalty just there took them from a 3 and 5 to a 3 and 10. That's a pretty substantial difference, especially when you're trailing by 8. You need to get that touchdown to be able to tie this game and have the time to hopefully take a lead in this game. And those types of plays can be preventable just with some easy and quick consideration. Flag there thrown on that play. Kester was under some pressure looking for a pass but couldn't quite get it.
Holding against the Knights. A penalty is declined. Huskies will take over on downs. 1st and 10 from their own 23-yard line.
Crowd here desperately trying to get their team hyped up as the Huskies will take over here after that 4th down on 1st and 10. Knights needing a really big defensive stop here as quickly as possible. Golden, they're running. Golden taken down at the Huskies 30-yard line, will pick up 5. Knights really struggling here to defend against the rush game between Griffin and Golden, both excellent runners, and they've been able to pick up a lot of yards. There is Griffin picking up another 1st down. Griffin a bit slow to get up after that play. Looks like he's going to be walking it off and be fine. But a good tackle there from Stop Pauly. Marcellus Griffin taken down by the Knights. That'll be a loss of 2. They will head to a 2nd and 12.
Emily, what do you think the Knights need to do to actually win this game and come back from their losing streak since 2014 to these guys?
Well, I think step one is tightening up their defense. It doesn't really look like Ritenour is bringing out any passing, especially this late in the game. It looks like they're going to just stick to what they know, what's been working for them. So they really just need to make their defense solid and make it a wall as they're essentially running the same plays. From there, I think they have a lot of different options offensively, and I think they just need to try and use some of those options, run some of those creative plays, try to get passes to their receivers in those long passes. Those have worked really well to give really good scoring opportunities and some touchdowns here in this game, and also trying to get runs to guys like Dontrell Woods who are able to pick up some yards on the rush. We now head to a 3rd and 3. The Huskies starting on their own 46. Big stop there from the Knights. No gain there for the Huskies.
I think they're finally listening to us and trying to improve their defense, and they've been big stopping the Huskies a bunch, and it's looking really good.
Brian Golden brought down on 4th down. That'll be a big stop from the Knights, brought down just short on the 48. Knights will take over on the Huskies 48. 8 minutes and 9 seconds left in the 4th quarter.
Knights will take over on downs at the Huskies 47-yard line. 1st and 10. Timeout on the field. Official timeout.
Timeout here for both teams. And Brandon, what do you think each team is doing here to regroup before this pretty critical drive?
I think the coaches are probably telling the Knights, like, you're decently improving your defense, but I think you need to, like, drastically improve it if you actually want to win this game. And you need to start, like, bringing the offense whenever you get the ball. And then I think for the Huskies, the coach is saying just stick with what we've been doing the whole game. It's been working. Throwing it, passing it, having a good defense. It's all been working, and they have the 8-pointer ahead of us.
And Brandon, I think that defense, we did see some more improvement there in that drive. The Knights were able to stop them in 4 downs. You saw some great tackles there from guys like Scott Pauley, Jalen Fleming. And I think that's going to really be the key here for this success, that they're able to continue this drive. They don't get caught on the 4th down. They don't have to turn over the ball. Don't suffer from any unfortunate and preventable penalties like false starts. Make sure to stay calm, stay cool, and just play their game, play what they know.
I think the Knights really need to go back to what they were doing at the beginning of the game because it was working perfectly fine. I'm not saying what they're doing now isn't working, but we'll see.
Kester, short pass. Number 6, Scott Pauley, looking for Fleming there on the side of the field.
Pass is incomplete. Intended for number 2, Jalen Fleming.
Good idea there from Fleming. Almost grabbed it. He was pretty heavily covered from 2 Ritenour defenders. Just couldn't quite get his hands on that one. A new play there from the Knights. I actually really like that play not a lot. Scott Pauley does have some quarterback experience. He stepped into the quarterback role briefly last year and is able to throw those passes similar to Kester. So I think that was a good way to kind of change up their offense, hopefully getting something new. Dontrell Woods on the rush, gets through the defensive line, is still up. Big tackle there from number 7.
For the Huskies.
And it's Ronnie Moore for Ritenour. Brief timeout there was called on the field. Both teams ready to regroup. They are at a 3rd and 1. The Knights going with the rush. Pick up the 3rd down. brought down there on the 27-yard line. AZ Anderson there on that carry. Anderson grabbed that ball, just let it drop, but the Knights were able to recover. Second and 11 here from the Knights. Kester now running down the side of the field. Will he pick up the first down? Looks like he got it. Great move there from Kester, inching them ever so closer there to that end zone. 6 minutes and 31 seconds left.
That is enough for our Knights. First down. Timeout on the field.
Timeout called now on the field. Now, Brandon, what do you think are going to be some of the Knights' strategies here to score this touchdown?
I think most likely they're first going to go to like Kester running it out, Kester throwing it to Dontrell running it out, Kester throwing it to Cameron Lewis running it out, and Kester passing it to Cameron Lewis and Dontrell or anyone else that's super close to the end zone and can just run in and get past all of Ritenour's defense.
I agree. I think the Knights have a lot of options here. They just need to make sure that they stay solid in what they're going with. I do think the Knights could also maybe incorporate some different plays there. That long pass has worked really well for them using the rush of Dontrell Woods. AZ Anderson has been working well. I also really liked that play with Patrick Kester, Scott Pauley, and Jalen Fleming there with a slight toss, and Pauley actually making the throw for the long yards. Even though that one did go incomplete, I do think that could have some success if they're able to get some receivers that are open.
Definitely, if the Knights keep playing like this, I could see the game completely changing.
Still able to pick up some yards on the rush. A big dog pile still moving down the field.
Pushed out of
Excellent
bounds.
pickup there for the Knights, able to stay strong. That was AZ Anderson there on that carry, and he just kept going, would not stop.
AZ Anderson, one of the players we've been actually watching tonight, keeps doing some great stuff at the end of the game. We didn't see a lot of him at the beginning, but I'm fine with seeing him at the end as long as we get to see him.
Another handoff there to Anderson.
And he falls right away.
Brought down right on the Huskies' 11-yard line.
6 minutes left in the game. Knights are still down by 8. Ritenour with 34, Knights with 26. It's the very last quarter of the game. How do you see the game ending?
Well, I'm not exactly sure yet, Brandon. I think there could be a lot of different ways that this game could go. It looks like we do have an injury on the field. Knights player going down.
Was it AZ Anderson?
Not quite sure who exactly is down yet on the field. Players all taking a knee. The medical trainer and the coaches for the Knights are all gathered around.
Jesse Collins, number 54 for the Knights, took an injury. But I think he's going to stand back up and do pretty good.
Impressive job there by Collins, able to just walk that one up. Looks like he's clutching his forearm, his wrist. Might have been something landed a little bit funky in that tackle there and landed on his wrist. 3rd and 3 here for the Knights. Knights really needing a first down here, or maybe even a scoring drive. Knights will hand it off to number 3, working around the end, and they get the first down. Khalid Thomas there getting that first down, and the Knights are now at 1st and goal. Just over 5.5 minutes at the end of the first quarter. The Knights desperately close here for the cut to a touchdown, really needing this scoring opportunity, probably one of the best ones they're going to get of this quarter. Rush there for Anderson, brought down outside of the goal line.
It looks like Azzy Anderson's leg was really hurt when he was walking off, but maybe that was just me and he was just walking back into line, but it looked to me like he got off the field, so.
Rush now with Dontrell Woods. Woods picking up the touchdown. Huge touchdown there by Dontrell Woods. The Knights come within 2, 32-34. Now they need this 2-point conversion to be able to tie this game. For just over 4.5 minutes left. That was a huge touchdown from Dontrell Woods. A great effort there from him to be able to work through that Ritenour D-line and make sure that he gets into the end zone.
Now all we need, like Emily said, is to get that 2-pointer and just get another touchdown somehow, or keep it tied until at least overtime. But 4 minutes, I think, is a lot of time, so especially for football. So I think they can definitely score another touchdown if they play the game right.
Timeout here called on the field. Brandon, what do you think would be the Knights' best option here in this play?
I think Eubank, or coach, is saying that they should definitely use their best defense for everyone to protect the main guy, and just make sure that they always get to the end zone, because we're not trying to lose this 2-pointer, or Francis Howell North isn't, at least. And I think the Knights definitely want this, because it would be the first time since 2014 once again, and I think that'd be amazing.
That would be really great, Braden. I think the Knights are aware of the seriousness of this situation, how desperately they do need these 2 points. This stadium getting really excited there after that touchdown. I'm sure it'll erupt if they're able to get this 2-point conversion. But extremely crucial play here.
And this is especially one of my favorite moments, and I'm very excited to come to my first game and it be like this. This is really cool.
Snap goes to Kester. Dontrell Woods! Dontrell Woods with the 2-point conversion. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a tie game.
Now all we need is a touchdown, or for them not to get one until we do.
Dontrell Woods, the savior that the Knights needed here in this game. We have a tie game. Such a great play from him, and truly all of the Knights team. They really worked together on that play to keep that ball, get some good, solid scoring chances, keep that ball moving down the field, and it resulted in what they wanted. They've got a touchdown, so now they need to strive and go get for that potential lead.
The other people up there were, I think, just recording through that. I think they were just recording through the tape.
cheerleaders for the Knights taking part in their push-ups. The cheerleaders here at FHN do push-ups for every single point that the Knights score on the touchdown. So now that we've hit 34, I'm sure they're getting their workout in, Brandon.
The kick and
Touchback. Ball is spotted at the 20-yard line. Huskies will start their first and 10.
Just after the cheerleaders, we now have our Nightline dance team with a great halftime performance. Their touchdown tradition is with high kicks. They have to do high kicks for every single point on the game. Ritenour, after that rush, will start this next drive on the 39th yard line. First and 10. Brian Golden looking to go through, gets past one Knights defender, gets brought down at the 46-yard line of the Huskies.
Down at the 47-yard line. 72.
3 minutes left. This game could go any way right now.
Rush there by Marcelius Griffin, stopped nicely by the Knights.
What do you think the Knights and the Huskies need right now just to win? Like, what do you think they need?
Well, I think it's really going to come down to a matter of which team can be the most consistent on both sides of the ball. I think they've both proven that they have the offense to be able to take this game, but it's really going to be a matter of whose defense can stop the plays and who can actually make those complete passes, get those big rush yards to actually make it to the end zone. The Huskies looks like will pick up a first down there after a carry by Marcelius Griffin. Another timeout here called on the play. 2 minutes, 31 seconds left in regulation. Now, Brandon, what do you think an overtime would look like in this game?
I think an overtime would look like both of the teams going as hard as they can, doing as hard as they can, like putting in as much effort as possible, and definitely trying their hardest to match what they did in the first quarter and just bring back the game. Both teams could do it. We've seen them do it. What do you think?
I totally agree with you. I think that this would be a really, really passionate overtime if we do have to go to that. But I think that the Huskies right now are taking this time out to really focus and regroup. You know, they let that touchdown in there on that last drive, made this a tie game. They had an 8-point lead. It's now cut down to a tie. And so they are really looking to see, all right, what can our offense bring to this game? And I think that offense is going to be from Brian Golden and Marcelius Griffin. They're the two that have really been the stars of the show and the story of this Ritenour team. I think that's exactly where they're going to try and go again. It'll really be up to the Knights defense to see if they can stop that play that has been running all night. Golden looking for a throw. That throw is complete. And the ball is fumbled. But it looks like it will be recovered by Ritenour.
Receiver ruled down by contact.
2 minutes left. I definitely am having a little bit of, I don't know, maybe deja vu, or maybe they're going to get this touchdown and just win the game right here in no overtime. Or they get the touchdown, not the two-pointer, and then North somehow gets both and wins.
We've got a lot of options here, Brandon. Brian Golden running. He has space. He gets brought down just outside of the end zone, just on the 2nd-yard line.
Brian Golden on the carry. Down.
Hopefully it goes into overtime, because if it does, then the Francis Howell Knights will at least get that kickoff and at least restart this. So all they have to do is block them for at least a minute, but there's a 2-yard gap, and I don't know. But it might be possible.
Huskies looking to take up as much time as possible. Touchdown for Ritenour. They will go up by 6 points here.
40-34. Now let's see if they get this double pointer. If they do, I'm pretty sure we're either going to go into overtime or Francis Howell North lost again.
The Knights have still had a really solid showing.
Oh, yeah. They've had a really good night and a lot of good players tonight. I was really expecting to see a lot more from some of the players.
Looks like we have another injury on the field, this one on the side of Ritenour. That will be number 55 for Ritenour. That is Joey Mayberry, an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman. Mayberry went down hard. There looks like there was a bit of a dog pile there on that last touchdown, and I think Mayberry might have gotten the worst of it, limping off the field, but is still able to walk off after being greeted by the trainer and his coaches here at Francis Howell North.
Now, before the game ends, I have a question before this two-pointer. Did we see at all any of Kyron at all, number 79? I didn't see a lot of him, but he might have been on the field, and I just didn't see his number. Number 79, Kyron.
I don't think we've really seen a lot from him this time. Looks like that'll be a 2-point conversion for Ritenour. They will go up by 8 once again. 1 minute and 12 seconds, 42-34 in this third quarter. It is do or die time here for this Knights if they want to get back in this game.
I think all it comes down to now is if they can get a touchdown, a two-pointer, and then when they get the kickoff, the Knights somehow get the first touchdown, and they're going to have to put in a lot of effort if they want to win.
The Knights are going to be looking for a lot of yards to pick up here. They're also going to be trying to get out of bounds as quickly as possible. They need that clock to stop so that they have the time to be able to make it down the field. 1 minute and 12 can be plenty of time in football if they use it correctly, but they're really going to need to be solid on their plays here.
James Furlow with the kick to the Knights. Cameron Lewis grabs it. He's running and running, and he runs past
And he keeps going.
almost all their defense, stops around the 40-yard line. 41, 42.
Cameron Lewis on the return.
Solid turn there from Lewis, was able to pick up a good amount of yards. The Knights will start on their own 43-yard line.
Start down at the 43-yard line. Knights will have it there, 1st and 10.
Like you said, they need to play the game the right way, and 7 seconds and a lot of yards, and they did a really good run-in. I think that was pretty good for time-wise.
Definitely what they were looking for, Brandon.
Oh,
Incomplete pass there
pass.
for the Knights.
I believe it was to Kester to...
Looks like it might have been
Raylan?
Jalen Fleming there
Yeah,
that
Jalen,
pass was
Jalen.
intended to. Just a little bit short.
And Griffin really wanted that ball. He grabbed it, and he was like, oh, we might have gotten the ball, and we can just show off and get some more points.
Dontrell Woods now light pass there to Kester. Woods working through the defense.
Still looking like the 43-yard line, though. And they lost a lot of time, so...
49.6 seconds, going to need a big passing play here. They will come to a 3rd and 10.
Oh, they went up a yard line, actually.
Brings up a 3rd and 9 for the Knights. Timeout on the field taken by the Knights, their 3rd and final timeout.
This will be the last timeout here for the Knights. And Brandon, what do you think are some things, regardless of how this game turned out, that the Knights have done well that they should carry on into next week's game?
I think what they've done well is all of first quarter and a lot of this quarter, where they're just passing it to the right people and then running it straight into the end zone, passing all of Ritter's defense. And sometimes, even when the quarterback keeps it and runs in, it's amazing as well.
Definitely. I think the Knights have done a lot of really great things here offensively that shows for the bright future of this Knights team. Patrick Kester fighting to stay on his feet, but an aggressive tackle there by number 77 for Ritenour, Kevin Tyler. That will come with a loss of 7.
34 seconds left, and if Patrick Kester got it to Jalen, it would have been an amazing turnaround, and he probably could have ran it straight to the end zone. There was only one defense person there, but we'll have to see how this game goes.
Kester needing to stay on his feet, and he is sacked. He is sacked by number 7 of Ritenour.
Well, I don't want to say it was a good game, but it was a good game.
I think that the Knights did a really good job of working with their offense, working with some more offensive plays. But in the end, they just couldn't pick up that 4th down, and it will now be a Ritenour ball with 18 seconds left.
Exactly. It was amazing, and I had a great experience. And even though they lost, it was an amazing game.
The end of that timeout. Ritenour setting up for their last drive. They will take a knee, and looks like we'll just let the clock run. That will be the end of our game here tonight. The Knights losing to the Ritenour Huskies 34-42. Thank you so much for tuning in today. The Knights will be playing, we will be live streaming on Thursday the 12th. Our next game will be our boys varsity soccer game against Timberland. So make sure to tune in to FHNtoday.com/live. I'm Emily Hood once again with my co-announcer Brandon Light. Have a great night and thanks so much for joining us.
See everyone later and have a great night.